Yeah, what's up, guys? Jairus here, and welcome to another episode of Jairus Inspires podcast. And today is going to be a very insightful topic, I believe, because this is, just few episodes ago, I uploaded an episode about client relationship, and that advice came from from a filmmaker. So the thing is, we always get advices from us, from our fellow photographers or filmmakers or videographers, but we never had a chance, I believe, to get the perspective from a client, right? Which Christine is here, which I've been working with Christine for 4 or 5 years. That's how long,
Long time,
and,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah, yeah.
we managed to build, really good relationship.
Solid
Yeah,
rapport.
exactly. So still right now.
Still, right now, I promise, I swear.
I'm just making sure, right? I'm just making sure. Okay, so Christine is here to give her perspective as a client. Like what should us do to approach client, or what should be the proper characteristics to have in when communicating with clients. So Christine is here to give those kind of insights. So Christine, how are you?
I'm
you look,
great
you look
today.
gorgeous.
Oh,
You look
well,
gorgeous.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so everything good? How's work?
Everything's great. Work is good. We're busy.
Oh, good. That's
Can't
good, that's good.
complain. Yeah, still
Yeah.
having fun, so that's good as well.
All right. So again, guys, just want to give a background. Christine and I have been working for 4 to 5 years, and until now, we just worked like a few weeks ago. So yeah, we maintain this really good relationship, and we're going to use this as an example. So how to like have a proper chemistry, or have a good relationship with your client. So
Absolutely.
Christine, before we go to the topic, I want you to introduce yourself. I'll give you the floor for a minute or so. Introduce yourself.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm Christine Sperr. I'm the current managing director for Santa Fe in the Middle East. We're a relocation company, so we help people move around the world in terms of moving, storage, immigration services, and home search, school search, settling in services. So that's what we do. And it is sometimes not very sexy, right? It's not a sexy industry for people. They wouldn't think that photography, videography could be impactful or effective, but that's kind of where we've made the connection, which is
Exactly.
excellent.
We're going to that
Yeah.
part once again. Moving company,
Yep.
relocation. Like, what the hell am I doing there?
Yeah, boxes, trucks.
Exactly. But we tried to make something interesting out of it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
make it something special, magic, and something relatable to the people who may be touching us either by video, social media, clients, general public. Absolutely.
Sure. Okay. So Christine, so let's go to the topic. So again, the topic is client relationship from the client perspective.
Yes.
All right. So Christine, so okay, let's start when being approached. Okay,
Yeah.
because for us, last episode we discussed about how to approach clients. Now, from your perspective, like how should we approach us? Like when you're being approached by a contractor, supplier, like how do you want to be approached, or what should be the proper approach to clients?
Okay, well, I think that there are different ways to approach clients. If we were looking at some of our service lines and looking at trucks and boxes, that would be based on only quality of material and price. But when you move into things that are more subjective, like real estate agents, temporary accommodation, marketing, creative vendors, it doesn't. It's not based on something you can touch, right? And there are a lot of people contacting you left, right, and center, emails, calls, and so it really becomes difficult to decipher. So the most important thing for me anyway, and I believe a lot of people in my position, is that personal touch, that personal connection. That is really what makes a difference. Having people who recommend you, having referrals. How I connected with you, I knew that we needed to do something. I started contacting people on social media, but I felt like they didn't understand our company or what I was looking for. And somebody on my team that had known you
Eve,
said,
yes.
yeah, Eve, exactly. Thank goodness for Eve. I asked her and she said, actually, I know somebody that could help. Would you want to speak with him? And I'm like, absolutely, please. If you think he's great, I'm sure I'm going to think he's great. So, and that's when we first met. That personal connection
Yes.
of a recommendation.
Yes, and I always say this, like the best form of marketing is word of mouth.
Yep, absolutely.
I strongly believe in that.
100%.
Has to be personal. What if you get approached through email, for example, or cold call? Like,
You
is it
know, I probably receive 20, 30 emails a day from various vendors. And so often I don't read them unless there's something very catchy and very personal. It has to be unique, different, enticing for me to actually read it. And then depending on my mood, if I actually reply, which is terrible, right? I am a nice person, but there's just not enough time of the day. And once you reach out, that opens dialogue, and it can lead to a long chase. So I'm very selective. Yeah.
It aligns to my previous episode, which he mentioned that networking, network yourself physically.
Absolutely.
Physically be there. Yeah, it takes more time, but it creates a stronger connection to your potential client.
It does. And every time you can get out and meet people, I think nowadays people are so used to sitting behind technology, right? And connecting that way. But Dubai is still a vibrant, energetic city where, people come together. And if you can make those human connections, you never know who will know somebody or who can open a door for you. And that's powerful.
How about social media? Because you said email, you don't read them. How about social media? Because right now, social media is like a powerful tool to connect with people. So
I must say, if anybody reaches out to us on social media, I respond. Yes.
Email is becoming like an old
it's so passe. Absolutely. So if anybody reaches out, whether it be a vendor, a client, anything like that, if they reach out on social media, they will receive a reply.
Yes, and when you're reaching out someone from social media, which I also get a lot, is again like I said, try to make it personal. Try to make it sound personal.
Yes.
Because a lot of them they were just copy paste from other emails.
They will.
And from ChatGPT. I even received like a few weeks ago a long message from a brand with hello underline guest name. Hello.
You can tell it's a form,
Close
right?
up in parentheses, guest name, and then the paragraph. And I replied. I usually don't reply, but I replied. I mean, just can you even at least write my name?
Make an effort.
Exactly, make an effort. Don't just copy paste and send to everyone. So make it sound personal, and also try to make it sound like you understood the brand or the company. Like do some research, right? Yeah.
That's so important. Look and see what the company does, and what's your value add to that client. What can you do differently than somebody else? And like you were like, oh yeah, I know relocation. There's this, and this. We could do this, and you came with ideas before I even asked you, and that was wonderful because we were aligned. I think we're both quirky, and I think we like
extroverts. We're both.
Totally quirky and like really fun different things. That's right? True. We don't want something that's cookie cutter. And that's what works.
And you know what's worse is people sending message with only hi or hello, and that's it. They leave you as it is. Like they expect you to answer back, and then that's the worst thing you could do for approaching anyone.
There are some certain rules of etiquette, right? Who are you? Okay, maybe your social media account name is, I don't know, Fuzzy Bunny. And I'm not going to write, hey, Fuzzy Bunny, So you have to say, hi, my name is John, and then start with something compelling.
Sure.
And that's the hook.
Straight to the point, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is, for example, like maybe before working, maybe how about the first meet? Like, for example, like us, we had a meeting first before we go to a job. Like on a meeting, what should be the proper way to approach a client? What should be, what should I do?
Yep. Well, I think the first thing is ask questions, right? You want to learn as much about what they're doing and what they're looking for so that you can position yourself. Don't automatically assume you know what they want, and don't launch into telling them what they want.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, so I'd say questions first to get a feel, and then take the information that you've learned and utilize it to match what they're looking for.
Are you saying that there are some suppliers that are into like starting to brag first what they have done, or we don't know if they've done that.
I have 50,000 followers and this, and you think, okay, but what's that going to do for me?
Exactly. Like you should understand first what the client needs.
Absolutely.
Right? You're here to provide solutions,
Yep.
not to brag on your achievements.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you've made it through the door, and there's merit there, right?
Yeah.
So you've learned from a colleague, a friend, what this person is capable of. You look them up before they come, right? So you look and see what they've done, what their style is, and then you can have a dialogue. Okay, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're looking for. This is what we're thinking. You asked a lot of questions. We had a brainstorming session, and that was powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
So now let's go to the next step. Christine, this is just a very controversial one. I believe, am I easy to work with?
Well,
Wow! Why can't you answer right away?
there was a little hesitation.
It's been
No,
10 seconds already. Since
Yeah. No, you are easy to work with. Something I do like is if I have an idea, you are not afraid to say, actually, that could work, but let's do it
this.
this way. Or I think this would be more effective. Or that's too boring. Maybe that's not right. Have you thought about this?
Okay, yeah.
And I don't want somebody who always wants me to feel like I'm right. I want somebody to bring expertise and creativity to the
That's what
table.
exactly you heard me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I want for my clients to feel that I'm easy to work with.
Yeah.
One of the things that I do to make them feel comfortable. Again, this is controversial. I never had a contract.
Yeah.
I never placed any contract. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of professionals that said, "Oh, you should have a contract. You should sign it. There's bullet points and that stuff." I never had it.
Yeah, well,
And
it's kind of like shying away from commitment, right? It's,
Yes.
if a company has to sign a contract, it can be positive if it's a large scale vendor, but it also feels a little bit restricting and
intimidating.
limiting. And when you're in a creative space, I feel like you could have the dialogue and outline what's needed and be flexible.
Yeah, again, you should know your client. Like,
Yeah.
see, for me, again, I want to be easy to work with. I want my clients to be comfortable. The thing is, for sure, for all of us, we know we've signed contracts before, and it's always uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Like, it's always like,
it kind of adds
should
an
I-
element of stress. Or
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't want my clients to feel that way. So for me, it's all about being comfortable. And usually, whenever I do that, the clients usually become at ease. And I never, luckily, in my 15 years of working freelancing here in Dubai, I never had any issues with any of my clients. I mean, there's some one, two, but it was
everybody is easy
it
to
always
work with,
happens,
right?
Yeah, but again, for me, I don't have a contract in place. But if you want to, let's go for it. It's just for me, I want my clients to be comfortable. Again, and also what, like I said, being easy to work with. Whenever you want something, you want your suppliers to come up with ideas. You
Yes.
don't want to be always saying yes to what the client wants. Most of the time, the clients doesn't know
what they want.
What they want.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they have an idea, okay, but they don't know what exactly they need.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's refreshing that you are always on the lookout for us. And when you see things that appeal or that can work, you will send them to me and say, "Hey, check this out." And I'm like, "Oh, that's brilliant. I love it." So it's awesome.
And especially, I think, in terms of like marketing generations, like you came from the pre-social media, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
a Gen
you're-
Xer for sure.
Yeah, right. So I'm a millennial, but my mindset is Gen Z. So I'm trying to always catch up with the trends and everything. And you came from the background of like previous generation of
Yeah,
marketing, so that's
traditional.
where we kind of combine our strengths. So whenever you, Christine, give me a suggestion or idea, I come up with solutions, or so that's how basically how we work.
We work together. Yep.
Yeah. All right, next is when you're actually working together, right? Like on a set,
Yep.
on the project itself. Again, what should be the proper approach or proper mindset or characteristics of a supplier?
Well, I appreciate when you give me an initial summary saying, okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to do X, Y, Z. Let's set the stage. We're going to need this, this, this. This is about how long it will take. And in my mind, that that creates a framework, right?
True.
And then I like when you lead it, because sometimes I have ideas of colors or backdrops or things like this, but I do like when you take charge and you start directing. It
Yeah.
makes me feel very comfortable and like I'm in good hands.
Yeah, I give you bullet points of
Yeah.
what are we going to do, like what kind of reel, what kind
Yeah.
of music, links and bullet points, and also the time frame.
Yep.
Like, from this time to this time, we were going to finish everything, and also what I need,
What
like
you need.
props.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
If we need Milo, or we need
Yeah.
how many boxes,
Costumes, boxes, trucks,
how
yeah.
many how many trucks, how
Yeah.
many crew we need,
Yep.
So yeah, again, trying to just making the client at least do less work.
Yep.
Just make the
Make
client
it easy for them, right?
make it easy for the client. I hate when, well, I'm also guilty with this. Like when I was starting, I always try to make the client run the show, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Drive it.
Yes, exactly. I make them write the brief, or I make them, figure out the timings or the props and everything. I was guilty of it, and when you became professional, you became like, okay, you shouldn't be asking the client to do that. It should be yourself as a professional.
Yep.
You
Heck,
should-
half the time we don't know what we want, right? We don't know what we're doing or what we want. So that guidance is gold.
Exactly. Okay, so Christine, now how about maintaining the relationship? Because we've been working again for 4 to 5 years.
Yep.
Now, this is something that a lot of professionals struggle. Like sometimes they work only once with the client, and then after that, they never have a return of inquiries, of projects. So how to maintain that relationship?
I think touching base is very important. So if I'm not reaching out to you and you haven't heard from me for a couple of months, drop me a note. Say, hey, how are you? What's up? I've had these great ideas, and bring something to the table. It's like a hook, right?
Sure.
You're like, oh yes, you're right. Time has flown by. I was so busy. I didn't think about that, but these ideas are great. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you remember a few days ago, I sent you an idea about the CEO thing, on TikTok.
Yes.
Like there's a
We're
reel
going to probably do
that-
it soon. Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully.
and
Yeah.
it's not even for me. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not me trying to get work from Christine. It's like they can do it by themselves.
Yep.
They can just place a camera and then do that trending reel. And
Yep.
it doesn't have to be a business for me.
Totally.
Again, it's how you build relationship.
Yep.
That's part of building a relationship.
In building this relationship, if anybody asks me, hey, do you know somebody? We're always the first to recommend you or give the reference, right? And so we hope that we also continue your work with other people and introductions.
Yeah, again, like word of mouth.
Yeah. Also, I think that understanding our corporate culture is really important. So,
that's good.
yes, it's super important. If we were an office that was uptight and very structured, like we were a big brand, you would cater to that, right? But I think our office, we're very informal and flexible, and we believe in work hard but play hard, and you help us realize that. And strangely enough, even though we are on social media to try to go B2C to get clients, something that's very powerful as a byproduct is people reaching out to us to want to work for us because they see the fun that we're having, and they see the energy, the enthusiasm, and the commitment and the passion.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so it makes me proud, right? And you help deliver that. You help embody that.
That's exactly what I brought to Santa Fe, which is that was your vision. Like you want to show the clients or the people out there that we're fun work environment.
Yep.
And that's where my strength's at. Like that's my personality.
Yep.
I love bringing fun to wherever I'm at. So when Christine told me that hey, we need to create content for us to look like we're fun environment, and that's exactly what I did. And if you're going to look to like pre-J Rules, Santa Fe social media, they're the standard moving boxes, shaking hands with clients, the standard stuff. But then when I entered, it's like this is us.
Yeah, this is what we want to portray. This is our ethos.
Exactly. Okay, so Christine, now let's go to again. This is client relationship. Now this we might have a different opinion on this, but how about having that kind of barrier? Because see, when you have a client, especially for this long, I have clients that I work for like 10 years now,
Yep.
even more than that. But yes, you build like a friendship, sort of kind of friendship with them, but still you should have this kind of barrier. Like you
Yeah, a
should respect
boundary, like
boundaries.
a professional boundary. It's not like, if you're unwell, of course I'll drop you a note and say, "Hey, how are
Sure.
you? Are you feeling
Wish
okay?"
you are. You were very sweet.
Exactly.
Whenever I this summer when
Yeah.
it was very dry. Christine, one of my probably the only client that texted me, "Hey, how are you? I hope everything is doing fine." I said, "Yeah, everything is good," but in reality, I was
Yeah,
begging for more.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kidding. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, having that rapport is lovely. But there is a line that and I
Sure.
don't cross that with my employees or our vendors. To keep it professional is
Yes,
also good.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, I guess it's a gray area, and it just depends on people's individual preferences.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a hard line on crossing over being too familiar.
Yeah, true. Which we are. I mean, we're friends, but
Yeah,
there's still some
yeah.
boundaries, and I
We
respect that.
both have our own lives, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Christine, wow, thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming in and then giving your insights. And I think this would help a lot of freelancers out there, especially the ones that are just starting.
Yeah.
You know, so
Research, make connections, and bring creative solutions to the table. And remember to ask questions.
okay,
Yeah.
Christine, thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. Wonderful.